Hello, hello, audience. I'm here once again. It's time for another segment of Ready for Some Gossip? Yeah, we gonna gossip about this goodness of God and what God is doing. And this particular season, like I said, once again, there are some topics that I'm going to be discussing that I believe that God has put in my spirit and my heart. And on last week, we started a series to talking about the homosexuality, the church versus homosexuality. And that is because I know we as the church have condemned and had so much ridicule when it come down to people being homosexuals. But just like I said on last week, God does not hate homosexuals. He hates, yes, he hates that spirit. He hates the sin. But he doesn't hate that sin any more than he hates liars and murderers and whoremongers and people that bite. He said that liars, a liar ain't gonna even tarry. Now he didn't say that about homosexuals, but he said a liar. So to me that means evidently he hate liars a little bit worse. When he said a liar ain't gonna even tarry in the day of judgment, he ain't gonna even let a liar say nothing. But when it comes down to it, we as people in the church, we try to like quantify sins, make it seem like one sin is worse than the other, and one of those sins has been homosexuality. But when it comes down to it, I want us as the people of God to know that God does not condemn and send to hell those that are homosexuals, and then the other ones he just gonna basically, it's almost like he gonna give other people a license and just let them slide. No, God hates it. Sin is sin. There ain't no big sins and ain't no little sin. All sin stinks in God's nostrils. And so I'm here once again. I have guests that I want to talk to concerning the homosexual lifestyle and what their experiences have been, and especially want to talk about some experiences they've had in the church with people ridiculing. But now, my guest this week, I have an Elder Stephen Thomas. How you doing,
All
Elder
right.
Thomas?
How are you?
And we're gonna start off, and I want him to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about himself first, Elder Thomas.
Okay, I'm Elder Stephen Thomas. Albany, Georgia is my hometown. This is where I was raised and born. I'm the only child of my mother, and her name is Lily Ann Colvin. She's from Fort Gaines, Georgia.
Okay.
I grew up in the church here. As a matter of fact, Bible Way Baptist Church is my home church where I grew up in. And since growing up, it's been a minute since I've been there, because I kind of ventured off and I'm doing my own thing now in the ministry myself.
Okay.
Upon the leadership of my bishop, which reside in Phoenix City, Alabama.
Okay.
So, raised and born here, completed high school here from Daughter High. I am a Trojan.
Okay.
Graduated in 1993.
I'm a Trojan.
Yeah. So, like I say, Albany is home for me.
Okay. So tell me this. What was your first experience with homosexuality? Was it what age were you, or tell me basically what happened, or what happened, what went on?
Well, at a very young age, I would say between the age of 4 and 5, I've been molested. I've been molested twice, throughout my lifetime, and it started at a very early age, which was like I said, between the age of 4 and 5, and it was a friend of a godmother because my mom she was taking trips out of town due to working, and when she would be gone, my godmother would keep me, and my godmother had a son that was older than me. He was basically grown. I would say about the age of 18, maybe close to 20, and he would do things to me, and I didn't understand it because I was young. So, and I didn't say nothing about it because he would threaten me as far as like if we were ever alone, he would do things to me. So I thought it was basically okay, not understanding really that sexual act that was going on at that age, and I thought it was okay. And then I was molested once again, but this was by family, and still not understanding.
By how old were you
At
then?
that time, I was probably at the age of 6 or 7, and I didn't understand it.
You didn't understand. You didn't know
No.
what was going on. Did you think you had done something wrong?
Well, I grew up thinking that it was normal, because when growing up as kids, we would play house. Back then we would play house, and all the guys in the neighborhood, it would be a tussle, a fight about who would be the mother.
Wow.
You see, and it was no girls around, so as little boys, we grew up, you know,
Saying
touching on each other.
so you
And-
would pick somebody that you would say this you gonna be the mother.
Yeah. Like, well, he's gonna be the father, and I want to be the mother, and these are gonna be the kids. This
What?
this is the thing. And me as a child, I was,
Did you ever say you wanted to be the mother?
yeah. I've always had, for some reason, growing up, I cling more to the feminine side of things. And I think that the reason why is because I was basically raised by my mom,
Mother.
so I was surrounded
By women.
by
A lot of
ladies.
women.
Yeah, so when I'm outside playing, I would hide behind the little house. I would make little mud cakes and be cooking and baking. The TV show Fame that used to come on, I used to be in love with the girl Coco, so I would take the mop stick and pretend like that was Coco, but I would be hiding because I didn't want my mom or my stepdad to see me because I knew that I would get in trouble. For doing,
Wow.
because I had a feminine spirit about me.
Wow.
And that's been always.
So when you at 6 and 7 were molested again, was it ever a time that you told your mother?
No. And I think the reason why is because of being threatened, and then how would I explain the second being that it was family, because that would be, I feel like that would cause such a big gap,
Okay.
with,
or something.
with the family. And then, like I said, with people telling you, if you say something, this is what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen, as a little child, when you hear this, it frightens you.
Frighten you.
Yeah, so you just hush and just go along with it.
So what age do you think that when did you start identifying as gay?
High school was a struggle for me. I like the girls. But I found that my feelings were more stronger towards guys. But I never, during my high school year, I never acted upon the feeling. I knew something was different about me because I was like, why am I feeling like this?
So when you liked the girls, did you ever express to the girls that you liked them?
Yeah, I had girlfriends, but it just was mere fact that we were just boyfriend, girlfriend. We never did anything, you see.
Wow.
So, I've had 1 or 2 girlfriends in my lifetime. So, but we never did
So y'all
anything.
were never intimate? Did
No,
you
no,
ever
no.
kiss or anything?
Probably, yeah. At such an early age, a little picking thing, it was nothing really serious.
So this was before you got in high school or afterwards?
This was during my high school years.
Years. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, did your mother ever say, well, why you ain't got no girlfriend? Or
Well, no,
something?
my mom, she never never really questioned. And one thing about my mom, she basically no stuff. So when it did come time when I did finally admit being gay, she already knew.
How old were you?
I had actually finished when I finished high school. That's when I came out of the closet. So, well, no, I take that back. I completed high school. I confessed being gay at the age of 21
So you said high school was a tough time. Why was it?
because it was a struggle, um, trying to identify who I was.
Wow.
With liking girls, but having more feelings for guys. Looking at guys and wondering, what it would be like, but not really acting upon my feeling. As far as indulging in any type of sexual activity while I was in school, but the feelings were there.
Okay.
And I would be crushing on certain guys in high school, and then I would go through the depression stage of why am I like this? Why do I like guys more than I like why am I looking at guys but I want a girlfriend, but is that I was trying to see, was that just a cover up, liking the girls, but really knowing that my feeling was more stronger for guys.
Wow.
Hmm.
So when did you decide that you wanted to just go on and act upon what you was feeling for guys? Was it something you did voluntarily or was it forced? Well, I know the first part of it was forced on you.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I feel like that it started from a child, and I feel like now,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell me whether you think I'm wrong or not. I feel like that spirit
Mm-hmm.
transferred, because I know evil spirits and
Mm-hmm.
demonic spirits can transfer. So I feel that's the way I say that a spirit can transfer, and it was transferred from the time you was a child at 4 years old and when you was molested,
Mm-hmm.
and that spirit was transferred into you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what caused these feelings to develop. Now, do
Mm-hmm.
you agree, or do you feel like you were born?
I've always I kind of feel I agree with what you have to say. I never felt that I was born this way, and the reason why is because of the mixed feelings that I had coming up. With liking girls, which was normal, but back then liking boys was unnormal. And
Mm-hmm.
it was looked upon. We would get spankings. If we got caught hunching on each other, kissing on each other, acting feminine. You would get the little petalings and all that. So actually, my main goal was because I struggled in high school, but I wanted to make sure that I did complete high school because, growing up, life was not easy for me. Life has kind of been rough, but praise God, God has been good through it all.
When you
Um,
say it was not easy, you saying it wasn't easy because of you having the feelings for guys?
Well, yeah, because it trying to maintain and hide those feelings and trying to act like I'm normal, knowing that I'm not normal because I don't know who I am. It's like an
Okay.
identity. I'm going through an identity crisis at this time and not really saying that I had someone that I could just actually talk to because I was an only child. So I
Uh-huh.
didn't have a brother. I didn't have a sister at that time because I didn't know that my father had other kids and I didn't meet them until later, later in life, and we're grown now. So
So you
I'm
really had nobody that you
no,
could talk to say, well, I'm having,
yeah.
these kind of feelings, and
What,
I don't know what's going on,
mm,
what's wrong. You didn't, and then you probably were scared.
yeah,
Even if
yeah,
you did, you were scared to even express to somebody
yeah,
that you had these feelings. Is
yeah,
that it?
yeah. And I don't know what it is. Yeah, I feel that it's a gay thing. Other gays would be able to know the truth about me, and they would call it out, and I would be defensive about it and be want to fight. Because it's like I'm trying to hide this. I don't want nobody to know, but they was
No.
able to sense that I was gay. So I decided, age of 21, I could no longer go on pretending because it was like I was in a shell and I was like I was about to lose my mind. So I just went ahead
Really? So
and
when was it something that you told your mother when y'all were by yourself alone, or you did like Chico? You just told everybody at the one time, or what?
well, actually, It's funny because me and Chico, we're best friends. We came out together. We started dressing up together, and that is actually the night, Halloween night, 1993 is when my mother found out because we pulled up because I had forgot something and I had no other choice but to go home. And so going home, me and Chico, we are fully in drag. So I'm knocking at the door, and my mom like, "Who is it? Yes, how can I help you?" So I'm like, "Mom, open the door," and she's like, "Who are you?" I'm fully dressed. So she's looking like, "Who are these two women?" And so I'm like, "Ma, it's me." She like, "Me who?" So she finally, creaked the door. And I'm like, "Ma, it's me, your child." And she's looking, but she's not saying nothing. So that was my way. I arranged you to say that was not my way of telling her, but due to the fact that I had to go back home, and we was fully dressed, it was no other way around for because it would have been out of the way for me to go and try to get out of drag, then go home and then
Did
go
she
back.
say something to you then, or
She
did
just,
y'all talk later?
we talked later. We talked later, and she knew.
What did she
know
say?
nothing. My mom has always been very. She doesn't approve of the gay thing, but she's always been a loving, caring, nurturing mother. She never scorned me. She would always tell me to be careful in the things that I was doing because the lifestyle I didn't know the lifestyle that I was being introduced to was as big as it was, and it opened up a whole new area, you know, because I just thought being gay was just two guys just being together,
Mm-hmm.
and not knowing that I would ever turn out to be a drag queen at first, because that was not my intention, to dress up like a
So
woman.
the dressing up on Halloween night was
Hmm.
just something that you thought you was just a one time
Just
thing.
thought it was just a one time thing, but then come to find out, as Chico said, hey, the attention that we got because we went downtown. Well, all the gay people were known to go downtown, which is known here in Albany as the mud puddle, where the mud puddle has anything that you want. You got your gays, you got your lesbians, you got your prostitutes, you got your drug dealers. It's just people that are down there just having a good time, and no one is being judgmental about no one. The gay people, they were fully accepted because a lot of the guys, like the dope dealers and all that, would actually protect those gays down there from other guys that may come in that don't like gays and say stuff or try to jump on one of the drag queens.
Wow.
So the guys down there would actually protect us.
So when you first came out, and you wasn't really intending trying to be a drag queen.
No,
But
no.
is that something? Is that a path you went down?
That's a path that I went down, and it even led to, like I said, me and Chico, we started out together, and eventually, he went back to the church. Chico went back to the church,
Well, were
and
you were you ever in church?
yes, I grew up in the church,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, Bible Way is my home church. It's in my heart because that's the church that I grew up in. So even in my transition, I would go to church, but it would feel awkward. I never went to church dressed as a woman, though.
Okay.
I never went to church dressed as a woman.
So did
And
anybody in your church know you were gay?
yes. I mean,
Did they
would have,
ridicule you? Tell me
yeah.
about
You
how
would
the
you would
people
have
did.
people. They talked about me. They would call my mom and say stuff, and instead of being loving and caring and saying, "Hey, listen, this is not the path that you should take." It was always, they would say bad stuff. Your son, he's dressing up. Your son is in the mud puddle. Your son is doing this, and your son is doing that.
But you wasn't dressed like that when you came to church.
No.
But
No.
just
But they would
because
they see me out. They would see me out and about. So it was like it was a big thing. And I felt like why? I mean, I'm just being me. Now I'm living my life. At least I'm thinking I'm living my life. You see what I'm saying? Because I thought it was normal. Even at then, with dressing up, I thought it was okay. I thought it was normal, not knowing that it really was sin in it. You see what I'm saying?
So how did you finally find out about it being a sin?
I think reality hit me when I came home, um, the end of 2008 December because I did a 5-year bid in prison.
Okay.
So, um,
So
2000.
wait a minute. Look, let's back up.
Mm-hmm.
So when you first started, you said you were going to church, but then the people started ridiculing you. And is that when you stopped going to church?
I stopped. I stopped.
And so, what led you to stop going to church? But just because the people, how they were treating you.
I think people and their how they receive me, to treat me, and then also, like I said, being fascinated with the gay lifestyle and all that it had to offer. I just got completely wrapped up in the gay lifestyle, and being wrapped up into being wrapped up in the gay lifestyle did not include going to church. You know, the only time we basically would go to church was if one of our friends would pass and we would attend the funeral.
Wow. So now, after you when you got to the point that you just got wrapped up in the gay lifestyle, what's some stuff that you experienced? Did you experience heartbreak? Were you in relationship with men?
The relationships, they honestly, now as I look back, they were awful. But at the time, it didn't seem that way because, you know, you would meet guys and you would fall in love with them and you would think that they were in love with you and you would think that you all would have a future together just as a man and woman would, you know, being that you was taking on, you know, I was taking on the role as a female and having a boyfriend. So I think, you know, I'm thinking that, hey, it's going to be okay, it's going to be all right. But all the while, you know, these guys, they were no good. You know, just the typical guy. You know, they would cheat on you with other drag queens or cheat on you with females, and they would use and abuse you.
They would cheat on you with females?
Yeah. You have a lot of guys that deal with gays that have girlfriends. You know, they're living what they call the down low life. You know, where they have females at home, but they slip away from the female and come and spend time with you. And we, you know, I ran, being that it's such a secluded thing, you know, you would never say anything to the female about messing around with the guy, even when you see them out. Because my first lover, me and him, we was together 15 years. And before, when me and him first started, he had a girlfriend. And they had been together for a long time. And she found out that he was messing around with me. And she actually came to the house. And she confronted me and him both. But she wasn't rude or anything like that. She told him to make a decision, make a choice, you know. Because if you're going to be messing with guys, I prefer that you leave me alone.
Did he stay with you?
He said that he couldn't at the time. He couldn't make a decision, or he couldn't choose between neither one because he claimed that he loved both of us. But he was a cheater. You see what I'm saying? It was all a lie because he was a cheater. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
I was not the only drag queen that he was messing with, and she was not the only female that he was messing with.
So you told me that you was dressing like a woman. Was it ever a time that you decided that you just wanted to be a woman?
Yes. 97, 98 is around now 98, 99 is when I began to go through the process of trying to become a transgender. And at that time, my first time, I traveled to Greenville, South Carolina, to receive what they call silicone injection in my chest and in my face. And that was to make me more feminine. And so this was another whole new arena. And the reason why was because at that time, I don't know if you're familiar with it, it was a club here by the name of Queen Nightlight. And Queen was a gay club where you do shows, you know, you come in and the drag queens would perform, lip sync to different songs. And I got into the show business, and being into the show business, which lead into a world of pageantry where you compete in pageants to win prizes. So I got introduced to all of that. So that led to me wanting to become a transgender after seeing other other guys becoming transgender, competing in the pageantry world, and just doing all sorts of things. So I'm like, hey, I want to be just like her, you know. So I did my research and found out how to go about doing it. So I began to start the process of becoming a transgender.
And how was that for you?
It was fun at first. I was loving my transition because I had got on hormones. I was taking hormone pill daily. I was doing the hormone shots, and actually just seeing my body just go from being a masculine male to becoming a feminine female. You know, getting those feminine qualities that a female would have. It was mind blowing. You know, because I'm like, oh my god, wow. So
You liked
eventually,
it?
yeah, yes, yes.
You liked it with the
Yeah.
change that was taking place in your body.
Yeah, but like I say, from the get go, I this was never my intentions. You know, because I thought just being gay was just two guys holding hands, you know, just loving each other and being happy.
But the more, see, that's what they with the word of God. See, the more you be into sin, the
Hmm.
more you get wrapped up into
Yeah,
it, and
yeah,
more
yeah,
you get involved
yeah,
into it.
yeah.
The more the those spirits take over and take control, and that's what started you to going down the road of wanting to transition
Yes,
to
yes,
be
yes, yeah.
enough. So you didn't ever think that, hey, I'm trying to change what God made me.
No,
And I want,
not at that time. Not at that time, because I thought it was right. You know, I thought that hey, that God approved of all of this. You know, because of the environment that I was in. You know, so I'm thinking that hey, you know, and I'm looking at people that are far more advanced than I were, and they having good relationships. You know, they got their own houses. You know, they got nice cars. You know, and they're just living as a man and female, a couple. So, you know, seeing all of this, and I'm thinking, hey, you know, the Lord approved of all of this. So, hey, why not pursue it? And
so what was the epiphany? What was it that, because then you start telling me something about you did a 5 year bid.
yeah,
What caused you to have to do that?
um, like as I was saying, I went through what they call silicone injection, and that is trying to become make your body more feminine to appear more like a female, as far as like the facial features, the breasts, getting the hips, getting the nice size butt, taking a hormone pill which breaks down the male hormone on the inside, and you begin to produce estrogen as female do. So I'm thinking that hey, this is okay. So for me, actually, it was going to prison, and the reason why I went to prison, and I realized then that it was God that was sitting me down because I was moving too fast in life and making choices and decisions and not thinking about them and not thinking that there would be any type of consequences to those decisions. So, you know, once I got locked up and realized, oh my God, you know, someone has lost their life because of something I did. You know, that hurt it.
What did you do?
I was in a great depression. I spent 17 months here in Dougherty County Jail, and those were the worst 17 months of my life because all I could think about was someone had lost their life because of an act that I had done.
What
And,
was it? The reason why? Well, can you tell the audience what? How did you end up having to go to prison?
well, actually, I called myself was trying to practice medicine without a license.
Okay.
From being injected, I thought that I could inject other people, and I began to do that. In the gay world, that's money. That's
Mm.
big money because you know people spend big money into getting injected,
Mhm.
trying to become females. So you know, and this guy, you know, I had done him. This was my second time doing him, but this second time it didn't go well.
Mm.
He actually ended up in the hospital, and a month later he passed.
Wow. We're
So
gonna continue on next week with our interview. We're gonna continue with Stephen, and we're gonna have Mr. Chico And we're gonna have a continuous discussion together with them, with the both of them. But we're gonna continue with Chico, what we were talking about, what we end up with talking to him, and then we're gonna finish talking to Stephen, and then we're gonna end up having just a whole conversation all together. But I don't know about y'all, but I'm enjoying this. Some good tea to me. I God bless you until next week. We'll see you then. Thank you.